Oh, I thought you were you ready to go?
Right,
We're ready to go.
We can start.
I always go on here before she's ready on Instagram, but that's okay.
Always.
What's up, guys? We're a little late today. Sorry. I had a interview that I had to do on YouTube that was not planned. I thought it was one thing. I thought I was getting on to talk to somebody about doing an interview, just kind of getting to know people. I don't like to do cold interviews for people I don't know without talking to them first, making sure we're on the same sheet of music, that kind of stuff.
But you totally did this time.
No, because I talked to her earlier this week.
Oh, okay.
So I thought I had scheduled a pre-interview discussion with someone today. It turned out it was actually an interview for someone I had that with earlier this week. Anywho, we're here now. So how's everybody going? How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing?
Going, fam.
Things are going great. The sun is out. It's shiny. Are we going to go for a walk later today?
Yes. We must get some.
We need to go get some, even if we don't, we might, what's the temperature?
We could go for a hike. I don't know.
It's not even 40 degrees. I don't feel like going for a hike.
Seriously?
We can go walk around the city.
It's 40 right now. It's going to
Yeah.
be like, it's going to stay 40s all day.
So we can maybe
Take a little
just walk
walk in the
around
sun.
here. Walk around
In the
here.
sun.
In the sun around here.
Don't leave the sun.
All right. What are we talking about today?
I don't remember because I'm trying to get my Instagram up.
I know what we're talking about today. What was that Menno thing?
Pregnant women who keep crossfitting experience fewer reproductive complications, recent study finds.
What? If you stay on your fitness, even when you're pregnant, you'll have less issues with your pregnancy?
What?
That's fascinating. Who would have thunk?
Who would have thunk it?
Today we are talking about a lot of things, but we'll be focusing our discussion on the success trap and how getting closer to your goals can actually make things more challenging.
I want you to say that again. Pause for the cause.
Oh, I'm going to pause for the cause.
Because we're going live.
We're going live on her Instagram. Juliana says, shocking.
All right.
What are we talking about?
Oh,
Pause
no.
due to poor connection. Reconnecting. There we go. You're back.
Are we back?
You're back.
Paused again. Hold on.
What's up? What's up?
I'm going to end it. And I am going to check on the internet connection.
Wah, wah.
I just love putting my face all up in your camera. I'm just gonna slide on over
You
here.
put your
while
face all up in. I stopped myself.
He's such a naughty boy.
I stopped myself.
Wi-Fi. Okay, Wi-Fi is on. Why you tripping? Let's try this again.
Juliana says you're dripping knowledge and the algorithm doesn't like that.
Okay, I'll take it.
She drips sweetness.
All right, here we go. Like that. And 3,
2, 1. You're now
We're
live.
live. Hey, fam.
Pause due to poor connection. Why don't you
Our
just
connection keeps on failing.
put it on
Put it on what?
your 5G. Just put it on 5G.
What is that? What do you mean?
Just turn your Wi-Fi
Turn the
off.
Wi-Fi off.
Just go
All
off
right,
your phone
let's try
connection.
that. Oh, wait. Somebody's on. Okay, so it's working, but let's just switch.
Yeah, just turn your Wi-Fi off and
Switch out of Wi-Fi and see what happens.
then it'll reconnect and then you should be good. 5G, yep, you're good to go. Rock and roll.
Yay. Okay, rock and roll. Now. What up, fam? Good morning. Happy Sunday. It is still
Sunday.
morning,
It is still
technically.
morning, technically.
On the East Coast.
On the East Coast, yep. All right, so in case you missed it, which I'm sure you did on Instagram, but not on YouTube, but we're going to say it again anyways.
Today's topic.
Also, first of all, because we do this every week, any of you guys watching these coffee talks, thank you for waiting the first 5 minutes of every episode while we figure our stuff out before we actually get started.
It's just like a podcast. We ramble for a little bit.
Well, but this isn't even rambling. This is like random
set up.
stuff happening, nothing's working, whatever. It happens every week.
Well, it's also because one of us is live while the other one is being set up. Is getting set up.
Or one of us is late and not ready to go, and it always, like, you're either going and I'm not, or I'm going and you're not, or whatever.
So,
Ready to go. Okay. We are talking about the things that we see happen with clients and questions people get and just conversations we hear, where there are challenges that are presented to people because they've had success.
the success
Trap. The idea that being successful can actually make your journey, can actually introduce challenges into your journey. Your hair is a little crazy.
It is gray right now. We just got just shaved again. I got the Velcro happening. And all the curls. The curls stick to the Velcro a lot more than straight hair. Don't do that. Leave the hair to me.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Okay, so I'll just use myself as an example because I think this is one of the conversations we've had.
How can success be a trap?
Right, this is one of the conversations for me. I'll just use my experience.
Okay.
I have been where I wanted to be for 6 years now, going on 7 years, almost about 6 years. Right, I started, because it happened pretty much after I started going carnivore, whole foods, animal-based. That's when everything kind of came together. So I had the fitness, brought the nutrition in, and then voila, all my health issues went away, my physical performance improved, all my injuries stopped being a problem. I haven't had an injury, a chronic injury, in 6 years. So all these types of things came together, and now I am metabolically healthy. I'm at a comfortable body composition, a healthy body composition.
Ooh, you
There's a whole nother conversation.
A good quote, though.
Oh, what's that?
That sums up this topic.
Yeah.
Denzel.
Okay.
Comfort or ease is a greater threat to progress
Ooh, yes.
than hardship.
Right. And all of the things, this is the crux of the conversation, all of the things that drove me to do the work to get where I wanted to be are gone.
The why.
Are gone.
The old why is not present to you like it once was.
Not yes and no. So because I have multiple whys.
Right.
So my whys are there. They haven't changed. I still want to maintain where I'm at, but the drive to attain something has changed.
Right. So the pain.
The pain is gone. The pain is gone. The things that I was dealing with.
The why not.
The why nots, definitely. The urgent bowels, the depression, the body fat, the self-image, the injuries, the weakness, the exhaustion, all of those different things.
That you were once confronted with daily. Is now kind of far removed from your current reality.
So now I'm at a point where I have to, in a way, manufacture new things to keep me moving forward. And that's not easy. That's hard. Absolutely. It now becomes a focus on, instead of trying to remove things, what are the things I want to try to accomplish, move towards, add to, conversation.
Next level.
Right.
And when you're already pretty optimally healthy, on the higher end of optimization, what is the drive to continue to optimize, to get to that little bit better and next better? It's a lot more easy to chill, slow down.
And that's the catch.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have the pain, so you're like, okay, well, I'm here, now what? But then also, it doesn't take as much effort to stay where you are. Maintenance is a lot easier than growth.
It can become very comfortable, yeah.
And it really gets hard. And then you look 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years down the road, and you're like, crap, I've gone backwards.
I've let myself go a little bit.
Right?
Yes.
Wait a second, what's going on? And you got to figure out, okay, I got to get back in this mindset of staying in front of the curve. And I think that's really the point, right? Is if we're not always trying to stay in front, then our bodies, nature, right? Deterioration, entropy, all these ideas
It'll catch up.
of decrease. Like everything wears down
There's
over
really
time.
no such thing as staying the same.
There's no such thing as maintenance. I've said that before.
Staying in one place.
Yeah, you
You're
have to
either
keep
moving
pushing
forward or
forward.
you're moving backward. Yeah.
So that's my thing. When you get there, how do you stay there?
Well, and I think this is the number one struggle for people.
Yeah.
It's harder, it's a bigger struggle, even though weight loss, fat loss, getting healthy can feel like such a struggle. What is everybody always, why is somebody always seeking fat loss, weight loss, health, healing? Why is somebody always seeking it? Because as soon as they get it, they let it go, and then they have to seek it again.
Right.
And what do we see constantly in our
It's a cycle.
practice?
Yeah.
Constant yo-yo dieting.
How do I
Why
start
are you
over?
yo-yo dieting? Because you never maintained the results in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's,
Good.
we don't realize, but that's actually very attractive to the brain. To be always striving to fix something.
Yeah.
There's an addiction to this level of trauma that we have of not having and wanting and pursuing, and it's dopamine.
This is an interesting idea, right? Is the idea that if we don't practice setting our own goals and our own targets of achievement, then we have to rely on recovering our health as the goal.
Again and again.
Right?
And
We have
again
to
and
keep,
again.
we have to let it go. So that's the only thing we know is we have to fix something. Well, what happens if you never had to worry about fixing something again and all the goals you could set had to do with just improving and getting yourself to the next level? Yeah, that's interesting.
That is like breaking people's brains to hear something like
Right.
that, right? What?
Yeah.
I can maintain what I've achieved and work toward the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Think about school.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to just keep on going back and repeating second grades for 12 years?
Right.
Or do you want to move on to third grade and fourth grade and fifth
Yeah,
grade,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be an 18-year-old who did 12 years of second grade. But that's what people are doing with their health all
That's
the
a
time.
great analogy. That is a great analogy. Yeah, you get to that. Yay! I'm graduating, going to the next level. Nah, I'm good. I think I'll just go back to where I was.
I'll just relearn everything
Yeah.
I did. I'll relearn the alphabet, relearn my multiplication tables.
Yep. And then you know what? That's a really good analogy because here's what we see. How many people do you work with? I'm sure it's probably the same percentage as me who know everything about everything, but still have to keep repeating the things that they're doing.
Yes.
They know all the stuff.
Yes.
Right? They know their multiplication table. They know the alphabet. They know they could do a trigonometry problem with their eyes closed, right? But they still can't figure out, well, how come I'm not making progress? Well, you made progress. You know the information, but you're not being consistent. You're not consistently applying it because you don't have a reason that goes beyond just what's in front of you right here.
Ooh, fear of regression is strong motivation to keep moving forward.
Yes. Yes.
When you can keep that old pain present to you, that can absolutely be a driver for a very, very long period of time.
And if you shift the thought process away from the superficial. That's why the why is important, and the why has to be more than just weight loss. The why has to be more than just I want to look good, because those things are easily attained.
What things?
Looking good.
No, they're not.
Well, I think they are. I think they are.
I don't think they are.
Well, because the process of looking good can be done without doing any real work.
That's some bullshit.
No, think about this.
I'm just gonna do a thumbs down. Thumbs down.
Here's what I mean is the entire health and fitness industry, for the most part, is focused on getting people aesthetic results. Those are not deep, long-term, sustainable things, right? So the work that has to get done to do this and build habits and all the different things is a much more in-depth, long-term process. So maybe not easy isn't the right word.
I would argue that because for my journey, I started with the aesthetic goal. That's what established the habits, the consistency,
Correct.
the discipline, the mindset, all of that came from what I needed to do and put into my life to achieve that aesthetic goal. So I would argue that it's the same process. Process is no different.
Okay.
You know, you can go through a process of achieving aesthetic goals in the wrong way, and maybe that's what you're thinking about, is like if you're punishing your body, overtraining, under eating, not focusing on nutrition, right? If you're going about it the wrong way, then absolutely it's not sustainable and not healthy. But that's not the only way to go about achieving aesthetic results.
No. The changes that we want to make that actually impact the pain points and provide a mindset that allows for continued growth, even after you've reached a goal, has to do less with how you look and more with how you function and how you live.
Yeah, and I would
think
say
that's where I'm going. Like, it's not the aesthetic stuff
can more easily lead you down the wrong path.
down the wrong path, and it is more easily pushed aside.
What do you mean?
It's more not pushed aside. It's easier to keep you in that cycle of I'm trying to look good. I reach a goal and then I let it go. I'm trying to look good. I reach a goal and then I let it go. If your focus is on quality of life and trying to live better and be more free and have that independence, that is something that it never goes away.
Right. So what
That's
you're
where I'm
saying
going.
is
It never goes away.
if your only focus, if your only why is aesthetic,
Right. It's not going to
unlikely to get you there in the long term.
to keep you there in the long term.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. You got to put in a lot of work, and it's just as difficult.
Yeah, it's not the work. I think it's not the work. I think it's easier to get off track if you're just thinking about how I look.
If you're chasing that, you can absolutely damage yourself in the process.
BBLs are not healthy, but might look good. Panic attacks are my huge why. Yes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Panic attacks are the pain
Right.
that we talk about, having that.
Did you turn the heat up? I am
presence of the pain.
sweating right now.
I turned the AC down, but
Down?
I'll put it back on.
Like, I feel it in my pit. She's showing me her butt, y'all. I don't know what to do. Whew. Is that the AC you just turned on?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, like my pits are sweating, my back of my knees. All right, too much information.
You should put on shorts like I did.
How do you help people understand this and work through it?
The success trap, or
Success trap.
because now we kind of got off on the why, which we always do.
Well, that's part of it. I mean, you have to have a good why that gets you to that keeps you going.
The success. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the success trap.
Okay.
Right. What it is. Right. We established that it's this. You know, when you get past the initial goal, when you've achieved the initial goal, to remove whatever pain drove you to take action in the first place, which is usually the thing, right?
I want to stop pooping everywhere all the time.
That's what his was.
That was part of mine. In case y'all didn't know that.
Well, okay, let's dive into the why then, because part of what is going to move you forward after you've achieved that initial success is revisiting your why and expanding on it. So, for instance, when we're talking about the pain, that's usually, although it is that emotional driver, which we want to have an emotional driver, but a lot of the time those things are very shallow. I hate to say the word shallow, but shallow in terms of the 7 levels deep that we've talked about before, the 7 levels deep exercise, right? You could start with, I don't want to have to poop all the time. Why is that important to you? Let's use yours as an example.
Why is that important? Because it's stressful.
So if you were gonna
Anxiety.
if we're gonna do
sucks.
the 7 levels of I with his initial pain,
Yeah.
it started out with I want to heal my IBS, right? Why do you want to heal your IBS? Because it's stressful,
It's
right?
controlling my life.
Boom. Okay, so why is it important to you to not let this control your life anymore?
Because the stress and anxiety is wearing me down.
Okay.
And it's literally, I talk about, and this is just a little segue, I didn't have 150, 200 pounds to lose in my journey. I lost about 70 pounds altogether.
Which is nothing to sneeze
Nothing
at.
to sneeze at, but it's not the same as, you hear stories of people who are 300 pounds and get down to 150 or something, right? The stress and the anxiety that I had to deal with is with my urgent bowels and the position I was in, always 100% of my time and focus always having to be on where is the bathroom, having to go, having to try, having to be prepared in case an accident happened, all those things. That level of anxiety is comparable to what I hear other people talk about when they are 300 pounds, right? There's the things you have to think about and concern yourself with that people who don't have that it never even crosses their mind. The things that you think about in that situation. So
because it was
that
limiting your life.
Limiting. Well, it wasn't even just limiting, it was altering. Like there were things that I had to change just because of that specific thing. So it was a limiting factor, it was a controlling factor, it was taking power away from me, right? There was a whole bunch of different perspectives of that.
So here's one of the first things I recommend when, you have your initial why, right? I'm doing this because I no longer want this in my life, right? I want to remove this pain. We got to flip that around and say, okay, if your life was no longer limited and you were no longer being controlled from something else, what does that look like? So now we establish what is the future vision for where you want to go. So if you had to put that into words, what would be the opposite of what you had before that you were seeking?
Being able to feel like maybe I have to take a poop and not stress over it because I knew I could hold it.
So if we're going to put that in affirmative words,
I want to be able to, I'm in control. I want to be able to do things I want to do without having to think about anything having to do with my bowel movements.
So freedom.
Yeah. Freedom from worrying about poop. Literally, that's what it is. Freedom, not having to think about it.
So if you think about it, if you were just going to talk about it in terms of future Bronson feels free, in control,
right?
Having the ability to go wherever I want, whenever I want, on my terms, right? Yeah. That is a powerful vision that could carry you to where you want to go.
And that is something that once I attain it, we talk about the next step, right? Once I get that, it's something I have to remember that I don't want to lose. Because that's
the success trap. That could be the success trap.
Right.
Because every day you're no longer confronted with the pain of what you don't want, and you currently have that freedom.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Aside from maybe every so often, recently we traveled, traveling to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And we were getting ready to come back, and we were at the wedding, and we had the opportunity. You could have had one of the cupcakes. What did you say to me?
I said, I'm not going to do that.
And I said, why not?
Because I know what's going to happen if I do.
He said, the flight tomorrow. I can't think about the timing of the flight tomorrow and do that.
Because knowing that if I had cupcakes at the wedding the day before, by the time that cupcake hit my system, I would have no idea where or when it would hit me, right? Because it could be in the hour and a half or hour drive
to the airport
in Atlanta traffic where there's no stopping, right? And I'd be like, "Hey, guess what? I'm gonna pack some toilet paper in the car and have to pull over on the side of the road on the highway if this hits, right?"
With my dad.
With your dad driving in the car when her dad's driving to the airport. Just things like that, like knowing that if I make these decisions, the freedom that I have is gone.
And I said to him, because you'll have times where you'll get the Five Guys fries, or you'll get Ben and Jerry's when we're home.
and that's the thing, it's in a situation where I know, okay, we're home all weekend. We're not going anywhere. I don't have to worry about this. I know at some point in the next 2 days, this is going to hit me if I decide to do this, but I want some Five Guys French fries. So Friday night, I go out and I get some French fries. I've got the whole weekend to deal with the repercussions of that because I've controlled my environment and I know the impact.
Yep. And so in this case, I was like, oh, do you still have to worry about that? And you said, not really.
Not generally.
But it's still so present to me
Right.
of how I used to live that it's not worth it for me to do that this time.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful example of when you do get the fries or the Ben and Jerry's, you're like, you know what? I'm metabolically healthy. I'll bounce back from this 6 days a week. Every single meal is carnivore otherwise, right? This is going to be one time, blah, 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 right? Then we have, and this is another example, a more aesthetic example, because it's okay. It's still okay to have aesthetic goals. It's one of my big platforms.
Yeah, we're not talking about not ever having aesthetic goals.
There's nothing wrong with you for having aesthetic goals. You're not vain for wanting to look a certain way. It is totally acceptable
and natural
to want to change your body the way it looks. So I want to put that out there.
100%.
So another example is we have the cruise coming up at the end of May. I'm going on a cut. I decided to go on a cut to lean out for the cruise initially, and then I decided to do this bikini fashion show. So that's actually 2 weeks before the cruise. So I'm going on a cut for that purpose. He said to me, a couple weeks before we went to Atlanta, this is my last Ben and Jerry's, whatever weekend that was.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Because you've got some aesthetic goals.
Right. I don't want to. I'm speaking. I don't want to speak. Now, here's the thing. Looking at me, I don't. We could probably get into a whole nother thing about self-perception and dysmorphia and all the other things, right? I weighed myself yesterday. I'm at 197, right? 197.8, almost 198, 198 pounds. This is the heaviest I have been in probably since before I started carnivore. Or since I started carnivore in 6 years.
I know before you met me because I think you were around 180 something.
185.
Yeah.
I usually maintain about 185. So I put on, since I met you.
See what happens when you fall in love?
Since I met her, it's been almost 3 years, I've put on 15 pounds.
Yeah, but that was really more in the last year.
It really is.
You bulked for a little while.
I did. I had like a year where I was kind of putting on some weight. So I'm at the heaviest I've been in 6 years. Now, I'm not any less healthy. I got blood work done, a month ago, 2 months ago. All the numbers look fine. My body fat percentage has gone up a little bit. I feel fine. I look fine. I perform fine. I don't have a six pack. Okay. I have what would you call it? I don't even know what you would call it. It's not a six pack. It's like a six pack in a cooler, right? You can see you can see an outline of there, but it's not like it's ripped and tight and whatever else, right?
Well, it's the same thing that happens with me between stage and off.
Right, you get a little fluffy.
Right? You add a little bit of body fat, and now the muscle's still there underneath, but it just kind of covers it up a little bit.
So I'm not at a point where it's like, hey, I'm really worried about anything. But from a presentation perspective, I feel like I have an obligation as a coach, as a speaker. If I'm going to get up in front of people and speak about something, I want to look maybe not as shredded and the best like I'm getting on stage.
Not have a shirt on.
Right. It's not like I'm taking my shirt off and I'm like, listen to me, But I do want to at least have a representation that, of presenting this is what health looks like. Now, here's a whole nother discussion. We're going to get in a little segue. This is a success. Maybe this is a part of the success trap.
You did the thumbs up at some point.
I did. Maybe this is another part of the success trap. And bear with me while my brain wanders through this conversation.
Stream of consciousness.
If I really wanted to represent health as a coach and an influencer, should I change anything? Right?
What do you mean?
I'm healthy now. I'm about 17%, 18% body fat. That's a healthy body fat percentage. I don't need to be at 12%. For men. I like to be I am super happy at anything at around 12%. I love being at 12%. I think I look great. It's awesome. At 15 to 18%, it's kind of like, I'm a little fluffy. Maybe I'll keep my shirt on, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, from a percentage of where most people in the world are at 51 years old, almost 52,
He looks damn good, fam.
almost 52, right? Being at 17 or 18% body fat is still well above average. And my physical ability, my blood work, my health, my performance, all of the things
Right.
are perfectly fine. Do I need to be do I need to present myself as being leaner just because? Or should I? Right? Here's a question. Should I? Would you guys be more receptive to a coach or a speaker or someone who goes up who might be a little fluffy, but still is capable, still shows, right? Because I still do stuff on my social media. I still put it out there. Like, I can still do all this stuff. I challenge anybody. Let's go and do whatever and have a blast, right? I got no problems with any of that. Do I need to be at a leaner
I mean, you certainly
level?
don't need to. And this is the question about the success trap.
Yeah,
Do you need to? No, it's not necessary.
right.
But I think for you right now, it represents a goal.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
And I think
it gives me something to
what we're
work
talking
towards.
about with
Yep.
this whole success trap is, look, it's a perfect example is bodybuilder off season to a prep,
Yep.
right? Off season should be improvement season. You should be dialed in just like you are in a prep, but for a different goal. If you are doing the off season right as a competitor, especially as a pro competitor, you will be working toward a muscle building goal, a caloric goal, macros, everything that you would focus on in a prep, you would focus on in the off season,
Right.
just the opposite, the inverse of it. Instead of trying to lose body fat, you're focused on building muscle or whatever that goal might be. But I know, right? I was like, hello, biceps and delts on fire today. And I didn't even did I do upper the
You
other
did
day?
shoulders.
I
You
did
did
shoulders
shoulders today.
yesterday. So it's setting a different goal, and it's setting a goal for a period of time, right? So, and it also, gosh, I love how this is the perfect analogy for what we're talking about, because we talked about not repeating second grade, right? Early on in my competitive journey, and most bikini competitors, bodybuilders, a lot of the time amateurs, and especially amateur level and newbies, let themselves go in the off season. They think of off season as off.
Yeah.
Relax, chill out, don't focus as much. Now I get to eat what I want. Yay. I got off stage, binge time. And then they get it together again to go through a cut, to go to stage again. And that was totally me my first couple shows. It was like, oh my gosh, I put on all this weight. Let me put another show on the calendar, and that'll be my motivator, right?
Yeah.
And that's a perfect example of what you were saying before about aesthetics being the only goal.
Yep.
That's terrible. Then now I'm constantly in this yo-yo. Nowadays, as a pro athlete and wanting to get to champion level, I recognize that after a cut, first of all, it's not all about the cut, and it's not all about the fat loss. That is where you reveal all the work that is done in the off season. The off season is improvement season. So if I'm doing this right, I'm setting goals for the improvement season, performance goals, strength goals, muscle building goals, the things that are going to make me look aesthetically better the next time I cut, but not always focusing on the cut. So it's
Right.
whatever season you're in, establishing what is my goal. And this is one of the ways that both of us like to do this. Maybe we'll set a 6-month goal or a 3-month goal, a 90-day goal, or a year-long goal of where we're going to next. You do it a lot with your programming. You'll be like, you know what? I'm building this program that I want to see if it gets me this result.
Right.
And that's one of the things you love.
Well,
to do.
I feel like I'm lucky in that perspective. We've talked about this before, in that being coaches, it creates some additional opportunities that maybe regular people who aren't coaches don't have, in that we get to play and we want to do things because we're trying to see what things work that we can help our people with. So like, I'm doing a program now that I'm putting together that I'm I've taken some concepts, I put them into a routine, and I'm trying to see, we'll talk about it real quick. I'm trying to see how much progress I can get building muscle and strength doing the least amount of work as possible.
I love it. Minimum effective dose.
Minimum, like what is the minimum amount of work I can do and still see progress? So I'm literally working, essentially I'm working, 2 days a week?
2 or 3, depending on the
Depending
week.
on how the week, so it's 3 workouts every 7 days. So it's one workout, 2 days off, one workout, 2 days off, one workout. So if we're talking straight 7 days, it's 3 workouts a week, rotating. 2 days are the same every other week because it's only 2 workouts.
Right.
I'm doing 6 exercises, 2 workouts, alternating those workouts every 3 days. And that's it. I get maybe it's a 30 to 40 minute workout each time. And then I spend the rest of my time on the recumbent bike watching anime while she finishes her workout. That's pretty much how our workouts
That's how it's been going lately, yeah.
Right? Because I'm done like that. My workouts are each exercise, I do 3 working sets. So I do 9 working sets and then I'm done.
Yeah, really
And
quick.
I'm feeling it.
Yep.
I'm feeling it. I don't know what I'm
He's
figuring out.
loving it
I'm
so
loving
far.
it. It's super chill. I don't have to stress out.
So spoiler alert,
Anyhow.
if this works out really well, he'll probably make that available.
Yeah, I'll make it available. If this works over time, I'll definitely make it available because I'm liking it right now a lot.
Okay, you have a question.
I have a question.
Gabby wants to know what anime you watched.
Oh my gosh, what anime do I watch? I watch
Everything.
I watch a lot. So right now, what am I watching? I watch, obviously, you love Naruto. She loves Naruto so much. Naruto,
Shoot me now.
Jujutsu Kaisen, Solo Leveling, My Hero Academia, Blue Exorcist. Those are probably the main ones right now. There's a couple others that are on my watch list I haven't gotten to yet. But those are the ones I'm watching.
He watches those on his time.
Yes.
When I'm not
Or
here,
while I'm writing or doing
or on the
schoolwork or
bike,
something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. So, yeah. Let's see. So, Success Trap.
Yes.
Let's give some practical pro tips on how to not get stuck in the success trap. So basically what we've been talking about is setting some short-term goals. Wherever you are in your journey, what is your next goal? Kind of always having something that you're working toward on the horizon, something that matters to you.
Can I take a step down?
Sure.
Or a step up, depending on if we talk about concepts or foundation, right? So at the base level, I think the first thing to understand to avoid the success trap is that your journey is never done. There is no end.
Yes.
Right? The reason it's a trap for a lot of people is because you think that once you get here, you're done. Okay? Understanding,
and that's the problem with aesthetics as well.
Right, that's the problem with aesthetics. Understanding that the day you were born, you were on the journey.
Ooh.
And the day you die is the only time the journey ends. Okay? The thing that is different between start and finish, between birth and death, and your quality of life and how well you experience your time on this earth is how engaged are you in the process.
Ooh.
Okay? So if you stop that engagement on yourself, if you make the choice to stop that engagement, everything goes downhill from there. Your journey never ends. So that's the first thing to understand. Once you understand that, I think everything else kind of should fall into place. If you really understand what that means, everything else should come from there. That's at the base level.
And then, so understanding that, the other big piece that's tied to that is what we already talked about, which is finding that deeper level of why. Because the shallowest level of why, it's not going to be enough, especially to carry you forward after you've had some initial success.
Yep.
So, maybe you solve whatever that first reason why was. Okay, you got there. Now what?
Yeah.
Now why does it matter to you to stay on the journey? Because if it was all about losing that 20 pounds, because that was your initial why, I want to lose 20 pounds.
That's a good way to know if your why is really a why.
Yeah, right. Ask yourself.
If there's nothing that comes after, if there's nothing that comes next, you don't have a why.
So once I'm done with that, once I've achieved that, then what?
Yeah. Yeah. If there's no then what,
If your then what is just go back to the old way I used to live, then.
or if you're asking the question, how long do I have to do this?
That's a good one. Yeah, then you're not even bought into what you're doing.
Yeah, you're not even bought into what you're doing.
You're just doing it for whatever that outcome goal is.
Yeah.
Right? And one thing we talk about a lot in my academy is the process goals. Right? So if you're only ever focused on the outcome goal, then yeah, you're going to hate every second of everything you have to do to get there, and you're not going to keep it.
Yep.
And then you're not going to keep the outcome. You can't keep the outcome if you don't keep doing, at least at some level, what you had to do to get there, right? You may not, what we talk about all the time, how easy it is to maintain it after you've achieved it. Meaning, for example, I might have to do a lot of strength training. Look at what he's talking about now. 2 days a week, 2 to 3 days a week in the gym. Easy, simple,
30
quick
to 40
workouts,
minutes, not
right?
a lot, just
This
chilling.
is all he needs to maintain. And he
And
may
I might be able to grow. Like this may be, yeah.
His experiment is to see if this small amount could even keep him growing, right? What we both had to do to achieve the level of fitness, muscle mass, what we have now was a lot more volume than that, a lot more frequency, a lot more duration. Now, what it takes to maintain it is a lot lower, but it's the same habits. Mm-hmm. It's the same habits. It's not, I'm no longer going to strength train because I got there now.
Right.
It's, I can pull back on it and I don't need to do as much of it, right? If it's cardio, for example, if you're killing yourself with cardio, good luck doing that for the rest of your life. But you might be able to still get a run in every once in a while, still go take walks. But it's going to be a much lower level to get to maintain the results that you got that took you marathon runs to get to.
Yeah. Let's see if I can draw this picture. When you're first getting started, this is your bucket. This is what you're working with, right? This is your life, okay? And I'm gonna see if I can get this, if this makes sense. This could be a total disaster, okay?
We'll find out.
This is your life. This much of it, if you're unhealthy, is how much you should be focusing on getting healthy.
Ooh.
This much of it is how much you are able to live your life, right? As you improve that health, then this starts growing, and then what you need to put in goes down. Now you have a much bigger piece of your life that you can actually live.
Capacity. Free up.
Right? So the more that process goes, the less and less and less this is. So now I only have to spend this much time to stay where I am. And if I want to improve, optimize, reach a different goal, set something competitive, whatever it may be, I can put a little bit here, but it's still far less.
It's a fraction of
than what I was putting in before just to survive.
Yes.
Right? So now I've got all this extra stuff that I can do with my life.
Here's a practical
and that's what this is about.
Example of what he's talking about. Tracking your food.
Right.
It can feel absolutely exhausting when you first start. And this is why so many people have resistance to doing it. Oh my God, I don't want to have to be that obsessive, right? These days, it would take more effort for me to try not to track my food.
Yeah, you just do it all the time.
Pull out the scale.
Yep.
It's just a part of what I do. It takes zero brain energy, focus, attention, time away from my life. None. It's just a part of my regular life. Mm-hmm. So now, if I wanted to take it to another level, like I'm doing now, going on this cut, right? I'm like, okay, I'm trying to achieve a goal. So now I dial it in a little bit more. It takes minuscule effort for me to do that. It's just, let's just adjust this macro a little bit.
Yep.
It's not now I have to completely upend my life and learn new foods and learn new recipes and learn new ways of doing things because all those things are already baked into my life.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it like, ladies listening, you might not get this, but guys, if you're listening, you'll probably get this. We like gadgets.
Yeah, you do.
How many things we've known each other for almost 3 years now. In that short amount of time, how many things have you seen me put time and money into that are now just sitting in the closet.
Oh, God. Too many.
Right? Technology things,
Oh
tools,
my God, y'all have no
whatever
idea.
projects that I'm working on, whatever else. Now,
You might have, what are they, satellite? What is,
all my IoT stuff, yeah, don't even
all over
don't
in
even get
different
into that.
cities?
Don't even get me into that one yet. We have a propensity to gather tools, gather information, and then not do anything with it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No,
Right?
trust me, the ladies do it too. They just do it with just like men, but more so women, because women are the ones that are usually seeking help when we have something.
Yeah,
we're
why
trying to
men? How
achieve.
come none of y'all men are asking for help?
Damn egos.
Seriously. Total segue. Total segue. I'm a 51, almost 52-year-old man who puts himself out there as someone who's like, hey,
I'm
you
an
can relate to
expert.
me. I'm an expert. I've done this. I know a lot of stuff. I want to help as many people as possible. What is it about guys? I get maybe one every 3 months who might send me a DM or an email and ask for some assistance or advice. But, okay, here's an example I have one guy right now in my boot camp, in my weight training programs, I have one guy right now who is a recurring paying client. One. I have
All the rest
dozens of women, dozens and dozens. It's like, okay, guys, where are you? I know you're not doing this on your own and not asking for help. Are you? Guys, if you need help, I don't normally call out to just the guys, but I'm telling you right now, men, don't get stuck trying to do this on your own.
How many coaches have you had in the last month for various things?
Coaches, mentors, consultants, people that I've asked for help to do stuff, just for projects that I'm working on or just in general business stuff, 4.
This man doesn't give it
got-
half a thought when he needs something.
Yeah.
And he's trying to go to a level he hasn't been. Babe, I just signed up with this new guy. Yeah.
You have to ask for help. Like, we don't know what we're doing if we've never done it before.
Yep.
If you're having trouble having success, if success has been eluding you and you haven't been able to get where you want to go over an extended period of time, which a lot of people are at, it might be a good time to ask for help. Just saying. Just saying.
I don't remember where we were.
I don't remember where we were, but that just hit me. Something about you saying we were talking about guys versus women.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand why men aren't asking for help. Get over yourselves and ask for help, guys.
That's it.
Seriously, get over yourselves. You're not going to figure it out. If you haven't figured it out now, then you need someone to help point you in. Open up the freaking instruction book and read the steps. Okay?
Well, that's what I was saying, was that the women do the same thing that you guys do with the gadgets.
Right.
But we do it with information about our health.
Right.
Weight loss, way too much weight loss, all about weight loss, the sardine fast, all the things, right? Women are always chasing whatever the latest trend is, thinking it'll be the answer, and then either do it or half-ass do it, or maybe do it or think about doing it, never do it. It sits on the shelf.
Yeah.
Right? So,
and men, I don't understand.
So you got to get in the game. That's part of it.
That is
Get in
part
the
of it,
game.
for sure.
Take the action. Connect it to your why. So, and find that deeper level. That's always the answer, right? It's always going back to the, really investigating your why and understanding, what's going to keep me going after I get that initial success. If you ask yourself that on the front end, that's so powerful, because we never think about that. You're thinking about this outcome you want, this initial goal. Ask yourself, I think that's the biggest takeaway from this whole chat today.
Yep.
Ask yourself, when I get that initial goal, then what?
Yeah. Right, because if you don't have a what's next, then your goal isn't deep enough.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable.
Yep.
I'm looking up something real quick. Start with why. All right, guys, if you guys haven't heard of this book, I know if you listen to us, you probably definitely heard of it, but Simon Sinek, Start With Why, is a book that I highly recommend. There's another one, I think, by him. I'm looking it up real quick.
My feet keep falling asleep. I'm gonna have to switch.
And then he's got a second book that comes with it called Find Your Why.
Ooh, I don't think I even knew about that
Yeah,
one.
so that one came out shortly after the first one. So start with Why, Simon Sinek, Sinek, and then Find Your Why, same guy. Get those two books, and that will help you set that foundation baseline for what we're talking about. You got any comments or anything that anybody's asked before we hop off?
Let's see.
Juliana says, this week's check-in spoiler. Last year I had leg braces and needed an arm on the Jefferson Memorial. This year I jogged up and down those stairs with my girls, no leg braces. That's awesome. That is awesome. Juliana, killing it. Hey, all right. SD Bradley, after listening to you at the low carb cruise and going to Antithetic, woohoo! I started going to my gym at work and working with a trainer and physical therapist or personal trainer. Awesome. Fantastic. That's great.
All right. I know Christina said a couple of things.
Juliana said, hey, Nat, because taking care of 36 tomato plants in a wheelchair would be too hard.
Yeah. Christina said, move on, get out of the second grade. Love that analogy.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That was a really good one.
Somebody else who could relate with your IBS woes.
Awesome. Well, that was somewhat on topic, somewhat rambling. But if you guys will watch this
As
for
per
any period of
usual.
time, that's kind of how things fly around here.
Indeed.
Anything else you want to say before we drop off?
Tomorrow, if you're in my Facebook group.
Tomorrow. Good. I love you tomorrow.
We good? Actually, not just my Facebook group anymore. Live on my YouTube at the Keto Bikini. No, at Keto Bikini Secrets. Tomorrow we're talking about metabolism. I'm doing a metabolism myths and misconceptions masterclass.
It's not what you think.
I got some stuff up my sleeve. It's gonna be a good one. So check it out. And if you have any questions about metabolism, drop me a DM on Instagram at the Keto Bikini Pro. Or if you're in my Facebook group, you can drop those questions there. I will be compiling all of them and making sure I leave nothing left out of this masterclass. So.
And I want to say, if you've made it this far into this video, number one, we appreciate you. Thank you very much. Number two, my book is coming out in September. We actually have set time in September. It will be published and available. There will be a pre-sale. I'm hoping that pre-sale is available by the end of this month. So that's this week, right? The end of the month is this week.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully by the end of this week.
June.
No, pre-sale. Well, pre-sale will go live at the end in April.
Okay.
Hopefully by April 1st, fingers crossed. I'm going to start really pushing it in June.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So there's going to be pre-sale for April and May available. I'm going to really start pushing it. We're putting ads out. We're going to do the whole thing. So
In June,
July, August is going to be the 90-day push before launch.
Cool.
In preparation for that push between now and June, if you go to my website, coachbronson.com, I want everybody listening to sign up for my street team. I have a street team. We're going to enlist you all to become freedom fighters and help other people learn about the book, learn about the message, learn about what it means to be body confident, learn what real health and quality of life is about, and get the book, push the book, and try to get it to as many people as possible. So go to my website, coachbronson.com, or you can go to coachbronson.com/street team, and that will be some information there. You'll get free copy of the book. You will get an electronic free copy of the book as it is right now. Sign up. You can get the book ahead of time before it's even out on pre-sale. Okay. And some people who are members of the street team will also, when the book comes out in hard copy, you'll get a hard copy of the book signed by me as well. So check that out. I'd love to have you guys join and help me promote the book and get it out to more people, as many people as possible. Thanks. See you guys.
See you next time. Peace out.